For the first part of this week's homework, I've taken the vesting contract and changed the vesting datum. So I added a second beneficiary. So now we have two and a deadline. And the idea of validation should now be that up till the deadline, beneficiary 1 can grab, and once the deadline has passed, beneficiary 2 can grab. So it's like you make a gift to beneficiary 1, but beneficiary 1 only has time till the deadline to retrieve it. Otherwise, you can get it back if you yourself are beneficiary 2. Of course, it's more general here. So your task is simply to write the correct logic here. Everything else should be complete, and I also modified the give and grab. So the give simply sets the given beneficiary as beneficiary 1 and the wallet itself as beneficiary 2. So the giver can get or can grab back once the deadline has been reached and passed. And grab now filters the UTXOs into two different UTXO sets. One checks that this wallet is beneficiary 1 and that the deadline has not yet passed, and the second checks that this wallet is beneficiary 2 and the deadline has passed, and then it generates transactions accordingly. It could be 1 or 2 transactions. So one transaction for the UTXOs in the first group and one transaction for the UTXOs in the second group. I need 2 different transactions because the validation interval must be different. For the first group, I must use 2 now. I must make sure that the deadline has not yet been reached, or has reached but not passed. And for the second group of UTXOs, if I want to grab them, I must use a different validity interval from now. Let's try this out in the playground. This time I only need 2 wallets. So I start by doing 2 gives right at the beginning. No need to wait in between. A gift from wallet 1 to wallet 2 and a gift from wallet 2 to wallet 1. So the beneficiary in this first gift from wallet 1, this is the payment pub key hash of wallet 2. I looked that up the same way as I explained earlier. And in the second gift by wallet 2, this is the payment pub key hash of wallet 1. So the deadline of this first gift is slot 10. So this is the POSIX time corresponding to slot 10 in the playground. The second deadline of the second gift is slot 5. And both gifts are over an amount of 50 ADA. So what does that mean? It means until slot 10, wallet 2 can get these 50 ADA. After slot 10, the right to retrieve it goes back to the giver, to wallet 1. Here, until slot 5, wallet 1 can get it, and after slot 5, wallet 2 can get it back. So in particular, between 5 and 10, wallet 2 can get both gifts. This one because the deadline hasn't been reached, and that one because that deadline has already been reached. So if I wait until slot 6 and then do a grab by wallet 2 should be able to get both gifts. This one back and that one. And just to be safe, I wait for another 2 slots. Let's see what happens. It seems to have worked. Let's check. So as always, it starts with the Genesis transaction to distribute the initial funds, 100 ADA to each of the 2 wallets. Then these are the 2 gifts. Let's see which is which. Okay, this is the second one, wallet 2 to wallet 1, 50 ADA. So this is the first one from wallet 1 to wallet 2. And now let's see, so now these 2 are both generated by the grab endpoint. They could have happened at the same time. I am not really sure why in this emulator they happen at different slots, but whatever. In any case, both succeed to give wallet 2 the corresponding gift. And we can also here nicely see the validity interval displayed in the playground. So this one has the validity from the start of time to slot 6. So this is grabbing the first gift, the gift made by wallet 1. And here, this other transaction we have from slot 6 to the end of time. So that gets back the second gift that wallet 2 made and where wallet 1 allowed the deadline to pass. So the right to retrieve it goes back to wallet 2. And we see in the final distribution of funds, wallet 1 lost the first gift and wallet 2 got its own gift back and got the first gift from wallet 1, so ends up with roughly 150 ADA. For the second part of the homework, I want you to revisit the vesting, the original vesting once again. And remember, we had two versions of the original one, one with one beneficiary and one deadline. The unparameterized version, where the datum carried both beneficiary and deadline, and then a parameterized version where both beneficiary and deadline were now the parameter and the datum turned into unit. And for this homework, I would like you to do another parameterized version where we split beneficiary and deadline between parameter of the contract and datum. So the signature of the validator, make validator function will be like this. PubKeyhash is the parameter of the contract and deadline is the datum. So we split these two pieces of information into parameter and datum. So then you have to implement this. So the logic is the same, but now the data just comes from these two different sources. And then just write this boilerplate. And I adopted the wallet endpoints, the wallet contracts accordingly. So now it's actually nicer again, the grab, or it depends how you look at it. But the grab now again doesn't need a parameter because it gets the beneficiary by just taking its own public key hash. And it does no longer need the deadline in order to construct the address because now the deadline is no longer part of the address because it's no longer part of the parameter. And I had to change the logic a bit, but actually it gets much simpler. So maybe this is actually the right way to do it, to take the beneficiary in the as a parameter of the contract, but put the deadline into the datum. Let's briefly see what this looks like in the playground. So again, I copied my solution and compiled and set up a scenario. So two wallets. Wallet 1 gives to wallet 2. This here is slot 10, so the deadline is slot 10, 40 ADA. Then we wait for one slot, then wallet 1 gives again to wallet 2, but now with the deadline of 20. So this here corresponds to slot 20, 30 ADA. Now we wait until slot 11. So the first deadline has passed, but the second hasn't. So wallet 2 does a grab, and if all goes well, then it should be able to retrieve this first gift, but not yet the second. Then we wait until slot 21, and wallet 2 does another grab, and now it should actually also be able to retrieve the second gift. And we wait for 2 more slots to be on the safe side. Let's go through the transactions. So again, Genesis transaction. Now we have the first gift over 40 ADA locked in the script. Second gift over 30 ADA locked in the script. The first grab by wallet 2, which picks up the first gift, hands it to wallet 2. And the second grab, slot 21, or the transaction here is actually happening slot 22. 30 ADA, the second gift, also goes to wallet 2. If instead of only waiting until slot 11, but immediately wait until slot 21, I should be able to grab both gifts with this grab action in a single transaction. So I should be able to get rid of this wait and this grab. And let's see how that works. Looking good. So the Genesis transaction and the two gifts should be the same. Now in slot 22, we have just one transaction that simultaneously picks up both gifts and gives them to wallet 2. So that also works.